what are some easy universal design aging in place items that people uh, can add to a kitchen project that they may not think about? What are some things that are kind of essential to that universal design that you can incorporate into any kitchen remodel?
Well, the first one, there are several, but the first one that comes to mind is cabinets, how you do your cabinets, especially your base cabinets. So let's say, you and your wife are not having any health issues. You see your parents having issues in their house, and maybe you're a younger boomer. What can you put in your house to make it easier for when you get older and maybe do have some of those mobility issues and things? One specific example is to eliminate cabinet doors on the base cabinets and put in full extension drawers. Drawers. They can be deep for pots, have a variety of sizes, but the reason that's such a great idea for any house, anytime, and it's true for bathrooms too, any cabinetry, is that a drawer can be opened all the way out and you can see what's in the back. You're not getting on your hands and knees and digging for that Tupperware lid that down in the back in 1985 that you haven't seen for a long time. And that's just hard on your back, and nobody likes that, young or old. So full extension drawers allow full visibility. They're within easy reach of a standing or seated user, so they're functional in that way, easy to approach and use. And so we put even where we have to have a cabinet doors, like under the sink, for example, we'll have a pull-out tray at the bottom underneath the plumbing where you put all your cleaning stuff and your dishwasher soap. It makes such a difference to be able to pull that out and see stuff and get to stuff than it does if it's just you're just putting them on the floor of that sink cabinet. Other cool ideas, putting in pot filler so that you have a source of water. Not only where you fill pots and pans, but we've actually built them into niches in the breakfast room and there's a dog watering station, and you
Oh,
just fill the two bowls of water if you have two dogs with the pot filler. At that location, kind of that little universal design for dogs, I guess. Lever handles, on your faucets make all that stuff
yeah.
easy to use. So cabinet hardware that doesn't require pinching, grasping, or pinching things, like cup pulls where you put your fingers up from underneath and pull, are very functional. So, and there's a ton of features within corner cabinets and things too that make life easier.
I think lighting is such a big thing with aging in place too. We mentioned that earlier as being a very important aspect of kitchen design, but especially as you're getting older, having well lit work surfaces and just general. So there's kind of two types of lighting. There's kind of the general overhead lighting, the room lighting, and then there's the task lighting. I think often that task lighting gets overlooked. LED tape has really, in my opinion, changed how we do task lighting,
Yeah.
and it's opened up a world of possibilities for where you can light things and how you can light things, because that LED tape, you can put it anywhere.
Yeah, you can put it behind glass fronts to light the contents of cabinets that have a glass front door on them. You can provide a smooth and seamless flow of light onto your countertops because the tape has lots of bulbs and it lights more evenly than the individual LEDs. They're halogens, if you go back far enough, that we put into people's kitchens for years. So you need 60% more lighting when you're 65 than you did when you were 18. So it's not just food prep, but it's also, you may see it if you have a poorly lit kitchen, you can't read recipe books very well. The
Or the labels on a
labels on a
medicine bottle or
or
whatever.
a package, or yeah, cooking instructions. So that you're absolutely right. Lighting is a very important part of universal design, and I would take that a step further and say if you can, like if it's a one-story rancher house and you can put a tubular skylight that floods that room with natural light, that is makes a huge difference. And you don't turn on the lights as much. You don't use as much energy. But that kind of light makes you feel good when you walk into that space, and everybody loves them. When we put those in, everybody loves them. I have them in my showroom, my house. My clients really like those, and they're much less expensive to put in than your traditional glass window type skylights.
Yeah, we've done a lot of those over the last few years. One last comment on the cabinets that you mentioned, drawers versus doors. One of the reasons behind that is also if you have somebody who's mobility impaired, they're in a wheelchair or a walker. When you go up to a cabinet and you open a cabinet door, you have to back up to open that cabinet door. And then you also have to be able to get up into the cabinet to get what you're trying to reach. And so there's kind of two movements that you have to do to accomplish that task. And if you have a drawer, it's just one movement.
Yeah, that's true. Well, under sink access in kitchens and bathrooms, if you have someone who is a wheelchair user or might be, requires making an easily converted space for them to roll under and have a roll under sink,
Yes.
and a roll under cooktop actually can be good too.
Yeah.
So we've accomplished that by putting in those entertainment center kind of doors that slide out to the side and then go back in.
Yep.
And then the floor is just open under there. Or if it's not needed for a while, we'll put in a real cabinet front with the bottom on it, and it's removable. The whole thing can be just dragged out and put in the garage. So you have a fully accessible sink area when you need it. But if you wanted to put it back in because you were having a party or having people over or something, you can restore that cabinet front, and it just looks like part of the kitchen cabinets that have always been there.
We've been getting more and more of those aging in place accessible bathroom type calls lately. That the access to bathroom vanities is always a big thing, but trying to retrofit, and we're kind of moving to bathrooms briefly here, but trying to retrofit a 1950s bathroom is often difficult, at least in this part of Houston, this era of house, because those bathrooms were typically 5x8, 5x10, and
Yes.
they just don't have the turning radiuses that you need. They don't have the clearances around the commodes that you have to have. So now we're looking at what adjacent space can we take in? Can we take in that closet that's next to it? Can we rob some space from the other bathroom behind it? Just take some space from the bedroom in front of it and create those clearances that we need.
Yeah, we do that. Well, we run into that all the time. And it is what you do. You try to take in some adjoining closet space if you can, or even bump into the bedroom a little bit. And you can also, if you have a water closet, like a separate toilet room, we'll often just take those walls out that where the doorway goes from the bathroom into that toilet space. We just eliminate those walls so it's kind of a more open plan and people can maneuver more easily in there. But you're right. If you don't have 60 inches, which is a 5-foot circle for a turning radius for a wheelchair, you're just going to have to do the best you can with the space that you have.
And sometimes that is the answer. Hey, we can't get the 5 feet, but we can improve your quality of life in this space a lot by getting you as close to that as we can, even if we can't get that full dimension.
And then you would have to mention the building the larger curbless showers as a must-do for universal design or aging in place too.
Well, those are so popular now that people are doing those in
Absolutely
tons of houses, regardless
it's
of
the default now.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
that tub and put in the roll-in or walk-in shower.
I would say almost every new construction that we do now, the primary suite has a roll-in shower, a curbless shower rather, and
Yep.
most of our remodels we're going to that, which that's the domino that drops cost-wise because now you're saw cutting the foundation, dropping it, pouring a new foundation. So that's
It's a little more involved than people realize.
yeah.
I get calls that, let's say you've got a bathroom with a corner shower, and people say, I just cut out the curb. Just like take a saw and cut through the tile, but they don't realize that there's a lot more involved. You have to change the shower pan and remove a lot more tile than you thought, and then the entrance width left to right is usually like 24 inches. That's not wide enough. So you end up doing a complete redo or not doing it at all.
I mean, it's worth considering this stuff in every project, regardless of your current needs. And I think every house should have at least one bathroom that has accessibility features because you just never know when you might have a family member or a guest or somebody that needs that. And it's
Or
always,
you might break your leg in a car wreck. I mean, it could be you or any member of the family, regardless of age. You just never
yeah.
know what life holds.